Let's bring in our panel with more reaction on what we're hearing today. The executive director of Veterans for Trump and also retired Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff is with us, and also investigative journalist from the Daily Signal, Tony Kinnett. Welcome into Newsline. Great to see you both here today.
Good to see you.
Well, this came in and, a little bit of bringing everyone up to speed. This order was Monday, and it was a pause, which was supposed to allow Trump's administration to basically review programs consistent with Trump's agenda. That all sounds fine, but there were calls, I guess, yesterday on nonprofit groups telling NBC News they couldn't get into websites to withdraw funds. Obviously, that's not what the intent was. So now they're pausing it. Tony, your reaction to the White House's move today? Clearly, there was a bit of a language issue and nothing, nefarious. But now we can expect Democrats to seize on this.
I think that it's not just an issue of perhaps the language of the executive order, but it's also the malicious compliance of those in the administration, holdovers from prior administrations who said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Trump by suggesting that because the funding isn't coming in, that we need to shut down website portals, which unless all of the website bills simultaneously were due yesterday, that's pretty incredible if true. That's not how that would work at all. That's how a human flipped this switch because of their own political motives, not because a funding freeze caused a website to go down. That's not how that works.
Yeah, well, how it works in Washington, though, is, the narrative is going to be that this was something that shouldn't have gone down. You have Democrats like Patty Murray, the senator of Washington, saying this is a victory for the American people. But in reality, to Tony's point, Jessie Jane, Caroline Leavitt was very clear, and she was asked not once or twice, but I believe 4 or 7 times in the briefing yesterday, that everyone was going to get their money, and yet the White House did have to rescind this order. Was that a good move?
Well, I can't determine if it was a good move or not based upon the information I have, but I do believe that what their intentions were was to make sure that the American taxpayers' dollars were no longer being exploited for nefarious means. We know that a lot of NGOs have profited. Those are the non-government organizations, have essentially made hand over fist on the illegal immigration crisis, funding various illegal measures such as, or illegals for housing, phone cards, basically supplementing their revenue and incomes. And that has come at great cost for taxpayers throughout the country, state and federal money. We know that some of these sanctuary cities, such as Eric Adams himself, was screaming for more federal dollars to support the illegal immigration crisis that was going on in New York City. So when you look at where some of this money was going, I think it was absolutely right of the president to put a pause or hold on much of this money distribution, because we do not know where much of it is going. And many of the people that have been profiting off the taxpayers' dollars need to be scrutinized a heck of a lot closer than they have been in the past.
Yeah, and this directive said it needs to pause because of the disbursement of federal financial assistance, DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal. And, really, to your point, Tony, if it is malicious people inside, that's sort of the process we're seeing here, where this new administration is trying to clear out the old and actually get people in who are going to actually carry out Donald Trump's agenda. I mean, that's been part of the issue we saw his last time around. And clearly now, maybe there's a silver lining here, Tony, that they've seen how they're going to operate from within.
I think so, especially when you consider that one of the big exposés that came out of this was $50 million for prophylactics over to the Gaza Strip, obviously a very clear financial priority for the United States. In all seriousness, though, when you look at these financial programs and you look at the pause that Trump has put through executive orders on funding in various ways, it's not some type of a permanent canning of the funding. It's a survey. This money has been going to these groups, these NGOs, unchecked for ages. And we want to stop and take a little bit of a, take a moment just before we send the money off for no return. Come on.
Exactly. And you know what? Never a dull moment. Actually, there's a clarification coming in as we wrap up our conversation. Press secretary saying it's actually not a rescission of the federal funding freeze, but it's a rescission of the OMB memo to end any confusion created by the court's injunction. So the president's executive order, according to Caroline Leavitt, on federal funding remains in full force and effect. We'll continue to watch this. Obviously, it is one of the big stories of the day. Jessie Jane and Tony, good to see you guys. Thanks for being with us.
Bianca, always a pleasure.
All right. So there you have it, folks. They're saying it's just the OMB memo. We'll take a closer look at what this means moving forward, and also the latest, of course, on RFK Jr. Stay with us. We'll be back after a quick break.